The morning sun rose gently over the red soil of Enugu. The rooftops of Ugwuaji village glowed with golden light. Women carried baskets to the market. Men rode their motorcycles to work. And children laughed as they ran to school. In the middle of that peaceful town lived Amaka, a young woman with a warm smile. But behind that smile, she carried years of silent pain. Amaka was a teacher at Community Primary School Ugwuaji. She was married to Ebuka, a hard-working man who owned a small electrical shop at Ogbete Market. They had been married for 8 long years, but there was no child. Every morning, Amaka greeted her neighbors kindly. She helped their children with homework. She shared food whenever she could. But every night, when the lights went off, tears filled her pillow. Month after month she waited. Year after year she hoped, but her womb remained silent. Ebuka tried to comfort her. "Don't worry, my wife," he would say softly. "God's time is the best." But sometimes his own voice trembled. He too felt the weight of their unanswered prayers. Amaka's mother-in-law, Mama Ebuka, was not kind at all. "8 years and nothing," she would hiss. "Did my son marry you to decorate the house?" Her words cut deep into Amaka's heart. Neighbors whispered. Some called her the barren woman. She heard the laughter behind her back, but she kept walking with her head held high, even when her heart was breaking inside. One Sunday morning during church service at St. Teresa Catholic Church, the women's group gathered after Mass. Amaka sat quietly among them, folding her hands. Then one of the women said loudly, "Some people will be leading prayers for mothers, but they don't even know what it means to have a child." Laughter filled the room. Everyone knew who she was talking about. Amaka's heart sunk. She stood up quietly and walked out. On her way home, she could hear the wind whispering through the trees, a reminder of how empty her life felt. That night, she knelt beside her bed. Her tears fell to the floor as she prayed. "Oh God," she cried softly, "I don't want riches or fame. Just give me a child, even if it's one, just one." A few weeks later, Ebuka took her to Park Lane Hospital in Enugu. They met a kind doctor, Dr. Nkem, who listened carefully and ran some tests. After the tests, Dr. Nkem smiled gently and said, "My dear, you are not barren. Your womb is fine. You just need rest, hope, and faith. Sometimes stress can delay miracles." Amaka smiled for the first time in weeks. That night, she told her husband everything. Together, they made a new promise. Every night, before bed, they would pray, even if it was just 10 minutes. They fasted. They thanked God for others' children. They chose peace over worry. Slowly, their home filled again with laughter and hope. One bright morning, Amaka awoke feeling strange. Her body was weak. She thought it was malaria. She went to a chemist at Akbak Junction. The woman there smiled and said, "Madam, this one no be malaria o. Better go and test for pregnancy." Amaka's heart started to beat fast. She rushed to the clinic. Minutes later, the nurse came out with a big smile. "Congratulations, Mrs. Ebuka. You are pregnant." Amaka stood still, her hands shaking. She couldn't believe it. Then she burst into tears, tears of joy, tears of victory. She ran straight to Ebuka's shop at Ogbete Market. "Ebuka, Ebuka, it has happened. I am pregnant." Ebuka dropped his screwdriver and ran to her. He lifted her high into the air, spinning her around with joy. Traders in the market clapped and shouted, "Chineke dimma! God is good!" As months passed, Amaka's stomach grew round and full. The same people who laughed at her before now came with fake smiles. "Mama baby, congratulations, oh!"
But Amaka only smiled. Even her mother-in-law came crying one evening. "My daughter, forgive me," she said softly. "I was foolish. Please forgive me." Amaka hugged her and whispered, "Mama, I forgave you long ago. God has done it for us." 9 months later, on a rainy night, thunder rolled across Enugu. Amaka was rushed to Park Lane Hospital. After long hours of labor, a loud cry filled the room. "It's a boy!" the nurse shouted. "A bouncing baby boy!" Ebuka fell to his knees, tears running down his face. He lifted his hands and thanked God. They named the child Chibuzor, which means God leads the way. The naming ceremony was the talk of the town. People from all over Uguaji came to celebrate. There was music, food, and laughter everywhere. Even those who once mocked her came dancing and smiling. But Amaka's joy was deeper than words. She looked at her baby boy sleeping in her arms and whispered, "God, you turned my tears into laughter. You made me a mother when everyone thought it was impossible." From that day, Amaka became an inspiration to many women in Enugu. Her story spread across the town, a story of faith, patience, and divine timing. Never lose hope. Don't let people's words destroy your faith. God's time is always the best. The same people who laugh at you today will one day sing your praises. And that was the story of Amaka, the woman whose tears turned to laughter. May her story remind you that no situation is too hard for God, because when the time is right, miracles happen.